Wonderful. So thank you again, and let's get started. We'll do some prayers and then start our session. You can unmute and repeat after me. Best if you can switch on the camera, be on camera, as I always request, so that you pay attention to the discussion if possible. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om
Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
So we'll start with our session. So thank you. So we are reading now chapter 4, as you know, all of you know. So just to recap quickly, chapter 4 is called Transcendental Knowledge. In chapter 4, Krishna starts saying how old is Bhagavad Gita. So he says that I told this knowledge before to sun god Vivashwan. Vivashwan told to Manu. Manu told to Ikshvaku. And it has came through disciplic succession, chain of disciplic succession. And therefore people even understood that way. But in course of time, the succession was broken. Therefore, it appears to be lost. And that's why, oh Arjuna, I'm telling you again today, because you are my friend and deity, you can only understand the mystery of this knowledge, Bhagavad Gita. So, but Arjuna has a doubt that how could Vivashwan, who is 120 million year old, could be your disciple, because your Krishna, he questions Krishna that Krishna, your age is my age, like we are of similar age. And but you are saying that you told this knowledge to sun god Vivashwan, who is 120 million year old. So how am I to understand that from beginning you instructed this science to him? It's very confusing. So he's asking for us. So Krishna, from this text 5, speaks. Lord Krishna says, the many, many births both you and I have passed, and I can remember all of them, but you cannot, O Arjuna. So Krishna is saying, oh Arjun, I remember all the birth we took in the past, but you don't remember. And then sixth one, he says that I am unborn, my transcendental body never deteriorates, although I am a lord of everything, still every year, in every millennium, in my original transcendental form. Every millennium means every yuga. So Krishna comes in every millennium, every yuga, in the same body. It's not like our body. Krishna is telling that I don't take birth like you, Arjun, and my body never deteriorates. Therefore, I'm the Lord of all living entities. So from me, which means from him, from Krishna, everything comes. He's confirming here. And I appear every time in the same body. And you can understand that in the battlefield of Kurukshetra, the age of Krishna was almost 90 plus. But he looks around 20-year age. He never grows old more than 20 years. Though Arjuna was old, though born at the same time almost in different families, right? So that's confirming that Krishna never grows old. And you have never seen a picture of Krishna where he has a white beard or some kind of old picture. No, he is always youth, you know. So, and then we discussed from Brahma Samhita how he is, Lord Brahma is confirming that Krishna is indeed not not getting old. He's the same body, eternal, youthful, oldest. And then seventh, the next question could be, why do you appear in every millennium? So Krishna is telling here in seventh one, yada yada hi dharmasya glani bhavat bharata avityana dharmasya tadatmanam sridhamyaham. So whenever and wherever there is a decline in religious practice, O descendant of Bharata, a predominance rise of irreligion at the time. I descend myself. So Krishna is telling, I come every millennium. Why? When there is a religious practice decline and religion increases. So in Kali Yuga, current age which we are living, which is just 5,000 years past, already you see a rise of irreligion. Religion is declining, right? Irreligion increasing. So we can ask question, what is form Krishna appeared this time? Krishna already came 500 years ago in the form of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in West Bengal. And that's where this Hare Krishna chanting was initiated. So in the Kali Yuga, he comes in his name. So his name is not different than him. And he appears in his name as Hare Krishna Mahamantra, which we chant Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram. So that's where we had read. And I think we also read the 8th one, right? The Paritranaya Sadhunam Vinasaya cha Duskritam Dhan Sansanathaya Sambhavani Yuga Yuga. So why, one can ask, why Krishna you come? To deliver the pious and to annihilate the miscreants, as well as to reestablish the principle of religion. I appear myself. It's saying I appear myself. It's not that I send someone. I come myself. Millennium after millennium. So Prabhupada explains here that actually to kill the impious, Krishna don't need to come. Okay. Because that can be done by Lord Shiva, Lord Brahma, all demigods, they can take care of that. And material energy itself can take care of that. That's not the point. The point, he comes to meet his deities, to deliver the pious, the sadhus. He comes for that purpose because other job can be done by anyone. Okay. So in the course of while he tries to meet his deities and give them pleasure, he also kills demons. In Krishna Leela, you have read or seen in your childhood or now that every day some demons comes to kill, sent by Kamsa, and Krishna kills them, and then Brajavasis take pleasure. So it is not it is not astonishing what Krishna is saying here, and he did that. That's why he's saying. So we'll start from here, 4.9 today. So now, so far we understood why Krishna comes, when Krishna comes, how Krishna comes. So now we are going to understand what is the point of knowing all this, right? Because we also take birth. But if somebody knows how I took birth, what did I do, there is no benefit. It's like a biography. But how the Bhagavad Gita is different or Krishna is different than an ordinary person, this sloka will clarify. Okay. So I have decided that all of you should read. So someone go first for this 4.9, and I can help you with Sanskrit if you need help. But I want to give you all of you to read this.
If anybody doesn't want to read, I would like to read.
You go ahead, Madhu.
Thank you. Hare Krishna. Janma karma cha me divyam evam yo viti tattvaha tyaktava deham punar janma naiti mam iti so Rujna. One who knows transcendental nature of my appearance and activities does not, upon leaving the body, takes his birth again in this material world, but attains my eternal abode, O Arjuna. Purport. Lord's descent from his transcendental abode is already explained in the 6th verse. One who can understand the truth of appearance of the personality of Godhead is already liberated from the material bondage, and therefore he returns to knowledge of God immediately after quitting this present material body. Such liberalization of the living entity from the material bondage is not at all easy. The impersonalist and the yogi attains liberalization only after much trouble and many, many births. Even then, the liberalization they achieve merging into the impersonal Brahma Jyoti of Lord is the only partial, and there is a risk of returning to this material world. But the devotee, simply by understanding the transcendental nature of the body and activities of Lord, attain the abode of the Lord after ending this body and does not run the risk of returning to this material world. In Brahma Samhita 5.33, it is stated that Lord has many, many forms and incarnation. Advitam Achyutam Anadim Ananta Rupam. Although there are many transcendental forms of Lord, they are still one. They are still one, and the same Supreme Personality of the Godhead. One has to understand this fact with conviction, although it is incomprehensible to mundane scholar and empiric philosopher, as stated in the Vedas. Eko devo nitya lila nurakuto bhakta vyapi hriday antar atma. The one supreme personality of Godhead is eternally engaged in many, many transcendental forms in relationship with his unalloyed devotees. This Vedic version is confirmed in this verse of the Gita personally by Lord. He who accepts this truth on the strength of the authority of the Vedas of the Supreme Personality of the Godhead, and who does not waste time in philosophical speculation, attains the highest perfectional stage of liberalization. Simply by accepting this truth on the faith, one can without a doubt attain liberalization. The Vedic version, Tat Tvam Asi, is actually appealed in this case. Anyone who understands Lord Krishna to be the supreme, or one who says who unto the Lord, you are the same supreme Brahman, the personality of Godhead, is certainly liberated instantly, and consequently his entrance into the transcendental association of Lord is guaranteed. In other words, such a faithful devotee of Lord attains perfection, and this is confirmed by the following Vedic assertion. Tam eva viditvati mrityum iti. Nanyah pantah vidyati yananya. One can attain the perfect stage of liberalization from birth to death simply by knowing the Lord, the Supreme Personality of the Godhead, and there is no other way to achieve this perfection. That there is no alternative mean that anyone who does not understand Lord Krishna as a Supreme Personality of the Godhead is surely in the mode of ignorance, and consequently he will not attain salvation simply, so to speak, by licking the outer surface of the bottle of the honey, or by interpreting the Bhagavad Gita according to the mundane scholarship. Such empiric philosophers may assume very important role in the material world, but they are not necessarily eligible for liberalization. Such puffed up mundane scholars have to wait for the causeless mercy of the devotee of the Lord. One should therefore cultivate Krishna consciousness with the faith and knowledge, and this way attain perfection. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Mataji. So I have a question for all of you to think, and I think some people didn't join last few sessions who are on the call. So for you, it's important to understand this thing, because what Krishna is saying here is bit difficult to digest, right? What he's saying that if you Arjun, if you understand my appearance and activities, you don't have to take birth again in the material world, but you come to my abode, eternal abode, spiritual world. Just by knowing how Krishna takes birth and what does he do. Just the two things. So how we understand this, right? So, and before that, Prabhupada explaining here that this is a fact. Krishna is telling here, right? No, janma kam chame divyam yo veti tattvatah tyaktadeham punarjanma naiti mameti naiti mameti. So Arjuna. Okay. So this is the fact. So Krishna telling very clear. It's not like somebody is telling about Krishna. Let's think about it. No, he's telling it. Now, how should we take it? So, what are the two things required to take this, to understand the Vedic knowledge or understand Bhagavad Gita? You just read purport. There are two things very clearly required. For example, for that matter, for anything you want to learn, or anyone want to learn, you need two things. So, what are those two things which you absolutely need to learn anything in this world?
Believe, trust.
Yes, Mataji. Faith, trust. Right? Like, for example, you can give some example if you don't mind. Like, how explain to anyone, like, with some example.
Believe that there's something like God, or
No, suppose somebody wants to learn guitar. Okay. So they need what they need. Two things most important.
Trust and faith. Trust and faith. Both are required for that.
Trust,
Meaning
faith,
trust.
First trust and
same
second
word.
faith. Faith.
It's the same. Yeah, faith. Faith in what? Faith in whom?
God. Guru. If we believe in God, but if we should believe in Guru, whatever, who is our Guru. We should trust our Guru and faith on whatever he says, we should faith on that also. Guru.
No, I gave example of guitar, learning a guitar.
The first thing he needs a guitar first.
Suppose you give him a guitar. Okay, you gift him a person guitar. So he has the guitar now.
Then he needs a tutor.
He need a teacher, right? And most important thing, even if he has a teacher, suppose you give him a teacher. Oh, you gave the guitar, you gave the teacher. Now, next, what next? Most important needed for that person to learn the guitar.
The willingness from inside.
That's also there. That's why he got guitar and teacher. So he will go to teacher only when there is willingness, right?
Okay. You should trust the teacher that she will or he will teach well.
Yeah, so the trust, and Mataji was saying, Kamini Mataji also saying, that one should have faith in that teacher, that whatever this teacher is teaching me is right. Okay? Because if you start judging everything that teacher teach, you will never understand guitar. Because anything he or she will tell you, you'll be doubting. Oh, is that all? Is that right? Is that correct? Maybe there are 10 more ways. You start searching on Google. He or she gives you lesson in evening and the whole night you are learning on Google or YouTube. And the next morning he comes, okay, what did I teach you? No, I learned more than you. Then the whole thing is spoiled. You'll never learn. It's like you want to learn a mathematics in class 1 and the teacher says 1 plus 1 is 2. You don't question. You just take it. Because if you're a super intelligent kid and you start questioning, then you're gone. You'll never understand math in your whole life, even if you try to understand, because you cannot investigate everything. So that's the first is faith. Second is knowledge. Once you have faith, then the next person, the person you have teacher, you have faith in guitar, should give you right knowledge. Because what many times you have faith in person, blind faith you can say, but the person does not give you right knowledge because the person may not be equipped, may not be capable, can happen so many things, right? Like even if you have very nice relation or faith or friendship, but if person is not capable of giving you right thing or knowledge, I mean right thing means knowledge because teacher will teach how much they know. So now you need the best teacher with right knowledge, right? The two things, as the last section we read, faith and knowledge. So similarly, just
knowledge.
just being born in a pious family, getting Bhagavad Gita, knowing Krishna will not help. We should have faith that what Krishna is saying in Bhagavad Gita is right, first of all. Because if there is no faith, you will never understand this knowledge, right? You start doubting every word, what will happen? That's what the mundane scholars and speculators do that. They start manipulating whole words in different ways, right? Now, Krishna, you have faith in Krishna. Now Krishna is giving this knowledge that I appear every millennium after millennium. I appear in this, I am unborn. I come for this purpose. This is my job. You're getting knowledge, right? And now how you validate the knowledge. So if you get the same knowledge from different sources, then your knowledge is correct because every source cannot be wrong. Suppose even if you doubt, okay, what Krishna is saying may be true, may not be true. In a sense, you're exploring the knowledge. So you can check in other sources what Lord Brahma is saying about Krishna. What is Lord Shiva is saying about Krishna? What is Veda is talking about Krishna? What is Upanishad talking about Krishna? So if what Krishna says and what different Vedic authorities says is pretty much in sync, then you can have full conviction. But even after knowing all that, if I don't have faith in Krishna and faith in authorities, then it's very hard. You're getting my point. What I'm saying, it is really very hard to to give this understand Bhagavad Gita because if we don't, it's like if suppose if you purchase a book, okay, same way like guitar example. Now you take a book. You got a book to learn math, but if you don't trust the author, what is the same way like you got Bhagavad Gita, but you don't trust the author Vyasadeva and Krishna is speaker, the person who created the Bhagavad Gita, spoke Bhagavad Gita. It's very hard to know Bhagavad Gita because you don't trust the author, the speaker itself. And then everything the author or speaker will write or speak will be valueless because it is not going to have any impact. And that is why Prabhupada, you'll see, emphasize in this Gita that you have to be devotee of Krishna to understand Bhagavad Gita. Why? Because unless you are a devotee of Krishna, you will not able to understand this knowledge. Impossible. Okay, almost impossible because you don't trust the writer, the author, the speaker, right? Everybody understood this concept?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Yeah, other people, 4 or 5 people on the call. I'm just checking. Ramachandra, are you speaking something? Okay, I think I cannot hear you. But I hope everyone understood this concept, that why this is important. Let's go to the next one, 410. Who wants to read this 410?
Today.
Yes, Mataji.
Okay. वित्तराग भय क्रोधा मन्मया मामुपाश्रिता बहवो ज्ञान तपसा पूता मद भावम अगता. Being freed from attachment, fear and anger, being fully absorbed in me and taking refuge in me, many persons in the past became purified by knowledge of me, and thus they all attained transcendental love for me. Purport. As described by above, it is very difficult for a person who is true materially affected to understand the personal nature of the supreme absolute truth. Generally, people who are attached to the bodily conception of life are so absorbed in the materialism that it is almost impossible for them to understand how the supreme can be a person. Such materialists cannot even imagine that there is a transcendental body which is imperishable, full of knowledge and eternally blissful. In the materialistic concept, the body is perishable, full of ignorance, and completely miserable. Therefore, people in general keep this same bodily idea in mind when they are informed of the personal form of the Lord. For such materialistic men, and from the gigantic material manifestation is supreme. Consequently, they consider the Supreme be impersonal. And because they are too materially absorbed, the conception of retaining the personally after liberation from matter frighten them. When they are informed that spiritual life is also individual and personal, they become afraid of becoming persons again. And they naturally prefer a kind of merging into the impersonal void. Generally, they compare the living entities to the bubble of ocean, which merge into the ocean. That is the highest perfection of spiritual existence attainable without individual personality. This is a kind of fearful stage of life devoid of perfect knowledge of spiritual existence. Furthermore, there are many persons who cannot understand spiritual existence at all, being embarrassed by so many theories and by contradiction of various types of so many theories and contradiction of various types of philosophical speculation, they become disgusted of or angry and foolishly conclude that they there is no uh, supreme cause and the everything is ultimately void. Such people are diseased condition of life. Some people are too materially attached and therefore do not give attention to spiritual life. Some of them want to merge into the supreme spiritual cause, and some of them disbelieving in everything, being angry at all sorts of spiritual speculation out of hopelessness. This last class of men take to the shelter of some kind of intoxication, and their effective hallucination are sometimes accepted as spiritual vision. one has to get rid of all three stages of attachment to the material world. A negligence of the spiritual life, fear of spiritual personal identity, and the conception of void and arises from the frustration of life. To get free from these three stages of material concept of life, one has to take complete shelter of Lord, guided by the bona fide spiritual master, and follow the discipline and the regulative principle of the devotional life. The last stage of devotional life is called bhav, or transcendental love of God. According to Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu 1 4 15 16, the science of devotional service अदाउ श्रद्धा ततः साधु सांगोधा भजना क्रिया तातो नारदा निर्वृता स्यत तातो निष्ठा ऋषि ततः अथा शक्ति तातो भावस तथा प्रेमो बधु दान सकति सदा कृतं कतम आया प्रेमः Prabhu bhave bhavet kramaha. In the beginning of the in the beginning, one must have preliminary desire of self-realization. This will bring one to the stage of trying to association with the person who was spiritually elevated. In the next stage, one becomes initiated by the elevated spiritual master, and under his instruction, the neophyte devotee begins the process of devotional service. By execution of devotional service under the guidance of the spiritual master, one becomes free from the material attachment, attains steadiness in the self realization, and acquires taste of hearing about the absolute personality of Godhead, Sri Krishna. This taste leads one further forward to attachment for Krishna consciousness, which is matured in bhav, or the preliminary stage of transcendental love of God. Real love of God is called prema, the highest perfectional stage of life. The prema stage, there is constant engagement, the transcendental loving service of the Lord. So, by the slow process of devotional service under the guidance of bona fide spiritual master, one can attain the highest stage, being freed from all material attachment, from the fearfulness of one's individual spiritual personality, and from the frustration that results in void philosophy. Then one can ultimately attain to the abode of Supreme Lord.
Thank you, Mantaji. Hare Krishna.
Very nice.
So, Krishna, earlier, if you go back a little bit, because we read a lot. So, Krishna is saying here, one who knows transcendental nature of my appearance and activities does not, upon leaving the body, take birth again in the material world, but attain my eternal abode. The next question is, which he is answering, how that happens, right? Because you can ask, okay, I believe what you say, but then how does it happen? So how does it happen? You have to get free from attachment, fear, and anger. And then he says, become fully absorbed in me and take refuge in me. Vitaragavaya krodha manmaya mamu asrita bhavato jnana tapasa putamat bhava gata. So he says, Arjun, it's not that just I'm telling to you. Many persons in the past become purified by knowledge of me. There are so many examples in Bhagavatam, Prahlad Maharaj, Dhruv Maharaj, so many rishis, so many Maharaj, Prithu Maharaj, so many deities, Ambarish Maharaj, Bali Maharaj, whatnot. Bhagavatam has full of such case studies where people just knowing, understanding Krishna's appearance and activities got liberation from the material bondage, went back to Krishna. So the question is, then why do people don't take this process, right? Because If it is so easy to go back home, back to Godhead and get rid of this stress in this material life, then why don't people take it? So in this first section, Prabhupada explaining that. And even sometime I ponder, and you can also share your understanding, that in this world, we see so many masters, right? So many masters. And nobody is supreme master, isn't it? Even the prime minister and president is also dependent on people or government or parliament or ministers, MPs to get them elected to that position. If the MPs withdraw the support, the prime minister will collapse, like the prime minister will lose the seat. So there is no one supreme in this world, right? This is our experience. Or other way you can say, everybody thinks that they are the supreme because everybody thinks that I am the boss. I am boss of my life. I have bigger boss, and my boss has the boss. His boss is a boss, but there is no one boss, right? Is what isn't it? Is that's not like our general experience that there is always someone bigger than anyone in this world. There is no one who is the richest. There is always competition, and somebody's take over next month, richest this month, other person. Even there is a ranking they make. There is always competition, right? Isn't it? That's a correct understanding?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Yes, Prabhuji.
So, if you propose an idea, if you ask people who is God, and you give the definition of God, that 6 opulences. Anybody who is most beautiful, most powerful, most renunciant, most intelligent, most what I miss? 6 opulence. Who has full at all the time, all the place, all the circumstance in one person. You can call that person God. You give this definition and you ask the person, what do you think? So what would be the answer? Because they cannot find it, because they cannot find anyone, they will say there is no God. Right?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Right? Because they naturally, because they will never find anyone who is the most richest, most powerful, most wealthy, most opulent, most beautiful, and renunciant also. He can renunciate also, most highest. Because if somebody is rich, they don't renounce, they just collect, right? So there's people say there is no God because there is no one fits in this criteria. Or Mayavadis will say everyone is God. So if you meditate hard, you can become also God. They will say like this. There are so many people teach like this. You can also become God. I can also become God. Everybody is God, right? Or there is no God, like atheist. They get frustrated and angry because they don't find anyone who fits in that. Now, what if you propose there is a God, Krishna, who by his example of life you show the person, here is what you see. There is no one who is more beautiful than Krishna. You can look at any picture of Krishna, there is no one. Everybody gets old. Even if you're most beautiful, you will get old and you will have wrinkles. But Krishna never gets old more than 20, 25. Now, there is no one more richer than Krishna. Why? Because he had 16,800 wives, and every wife has her own palace. And he expanded himself in 16,108 forms, and he was living personally in all the 16,108 palaces in Dwaraka. He demonstrated it. There is no one richer than me. You may have 5 wives, 10 wives, 20 wives, but 16,108, and then you have to expand into 16,000. No, you can pass. There is no one more powerful than Krishna. At the age of 5 or 7 years, he would lifted Govardhan hill on his finger. People cannot even lift the stone, right? There is no one more knowledgeable than Krishna because he gave Bhagavad Gita, which people are still trying to understand. After 5,000 years, so they are trying to understand what is it. What is it? It's not, you don't know what's going on. Right? So if you propose this, people get fearful. Why? Because they think, oh, do I need to surrender to this one person only? One person? How come one person could be God? No, I can't believe this. Because they have never seen someone who has this. We don't have this experience at all. And if you propose, young Krishna says, oh, I am the source of everything. Oh, we think, what kind of person is this? Who is source of this whole cosmic manifestation? Whole cosmic manifestation living in his body when he saw Yashoda Maya, the mouth, and whole cosmic manifestations he sees it like, what is this? We don't believe it. Why? Because we have no experience of this kind. And therefore, we need to have faith in this knowledge, because without faith, we cannot experience it because we don't have that senses to experience it. And that is why, again and again, it is being emphasized that you need to have faith, primarily faith. Like Adho Shraddha, last section of this sloka you were reading. Adho Shraddha tatha bhakt sadho, sadhu sango tatha bhajan kriya, tatho anarth nivritya syat, tatho nishtha ruchi tatha. अथा शक्ति ततो भावस ततो प्रेमा भुयंचति सद साधकानाम ayam prema prabhute bhavate. So, in this Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, composed by Rupa Goswami, he is telling what is the 9 process of bhakti. And it starts with first desire and then faith, right? Then association, and then so many steps here. You go to the bhav. It is 9 steps. We are nowhere. We just starting. Therefore, it will take time. Okay. And how does you should do under a teacher, bona fide spiritual master. If you do alone, you'll get confused because it's not so easy. And third point, it is a slow process. It takes time. Even to get a degree, PhD, you have to study for 16 years. First, you have to do high school, intermediate, bachelor, master's, and then PhD. Then you get a degree. In what? One title. Oh, I am PhD in this limited area. Or we want to understand God in one day or one YouTube video. Can you explain me God in one YouTube video? And it's like, okay, yes, right. So this takes process. It takes time. Okay. We can read this last one and then we'll end the session. Okay. I'm feeling a bit tired today. So that's why I'm not feeling that energy. So we'll read this and then we can have question, anything. Who wants to read this 4.11? Ramchandra, you are trying to read. I think I cannot hear you. Anybody can hear Ramchandra? Maybe Ramchandra, you rejoin it. I unfortunately I'm not able to hear you at all. Okay, just wait for 10 seconds if Ramchandra joins and he can have a voice. Otherwise, you can get ready. Can you unmute Ramchand? Still, I cannot hear you. I'm sorry. Something wrong with your device. Okay, maybe you can just hear. Anybody want to read? Raitar Mataji, you go ahead, read.
ये यथा मम प्रपद्यांति तमस्तत्त्वाः भज्य मे अहम् मम
I can help you. You can repeat after me. It's very nice thing. So just to learn. Ye yatha mam prapadyante
ये यथा मां प्रपद्यन्ते
tam stathayo bhajamyaham
तां तदो भजाम्यहम्
mam vartananu anuvartante
मां भर्तनाम् अन्वर्तन्ते
manushya parth sarvasah.
मनुष्या पार्थ सर्वसा.
As all surrender unto me, I reward them accordingly. Everyone follows my path in all respects, O son of Partha. Purport. Everyone is searching for Krishna in different aspects of his manifestation. Krishna, the Supreme Personality of the Godhead, is partially realized in his impersonal Brahmajyoti effulgence and as all pervading super soul dwelling within everything, including the particles of atoms. But Krishna is fully realized only by his pure devotee. Consequently, Krishna is the object of everyone's realization, and thus anyone and everyone is satisfied according to one's desire to have him. In the transcendental world also, Krishna reciprocates with his pure devotee in the transcendental attitude, just as the devotee wants him. One devotee may want Krishna as Supreme Master, another as his personal friend, another as his son, and still another as his lover. Krishna rewards all the devotee equally according to the different instances sites of love for him. In the material world, the same reciprocation is feeling as there and they are equally exchanged by Lord with different types of worships. The pure devotee, both here and in the transcendental abode, associates with him in person and are able to render personal service to the Lord, and thus derive transcendental bliss in his loving service. As of those who are impersonalist and who want to commit spiritual suicide are in any healing by the individual existence of the living entity. Krishna helps also by absorbing him in his effluences. Such impersonalists do not agree to accept the eternal, blissful personality of Godhead. Consequently, they cannot relish the bliss of transcendental personal service to the Lord. Having existence his individuality, some of them who are not firmly situated even in the impersonal existence return to this material field to exhibit their dormant desire for activities. They are not admitted into spiritual planet, but they are again given a chance to act in the material planet, act on the material planet. For those who are fruitful workers, the Lord awards the desired result of the prescribed duties as Yajnaswara. And those who are yogis seeking mystic power are awarded such powers. In other words, everyone is dependent for success upon his mercy alone. And all kind of spiritual process are but different degree of success on the same path. Unless, therefore, one comes to the highest perfection of Krishna consciousness, all attempts remain imperfect. As is stated in Srimad Bhagavatam, I will
I'll read this. Akama sarva kamo va
Kama sarva kamo va
moksha kama udaridhi
moksha kama udarati
tivrena bhakti yogena
tirvena bhakti yogena
Bhakti-yogena
yajeta purusham param.
yajita
Jita Purusham Param.
Whether one is without desire, the condition of the devotee, or is desirous of all the fruitful results, or is after liberalization, one should win all the efforts trying to worship the Supreme Personality of Godhead for complete perfection, culminating in Krishna consciousness. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Culminating.
Yes, thank you. So Krishna is saying, Ye yatha mam prapadyante tam tathayo bhajamyaham. Means, whatever way the people approach him, he rewards them. And this will get repeated in subsequent chapters, you will see. Because Krishna says, I am sitting in sarvasya chaham hridhi sannivisto matis pratigyanam apohanam cha. Vedeshu sharve rahmeva vedyo vedanta krita veda videyo chaham. 15.15 Bhagavad Gita. That I am sitting in everyone's heart as a super soul and I reward, I fulfill the desires of everyone. So the duty is on us what we desire. Therefore, it is said very important to be careful what you desire. Because Krishna is very kind, he'll sanction what you desire. And therefore, we should know how to desire and what to desire. It's better to desire what he says in Bhagavad Gita than desire ourselves, because we may be confused, misled, right? So that's why it's important to learn Bhagavad Gita knowledge so that we can desire right. You can desire bhakti yoga. You don't desire jnana yoga, karma yoga, dhyana yoga, ashtanga yoga. We all give up all the yogas when we desire. Tibrena bhakti yogena. Bhagavatam, you just read. So tibrena, fast. We go direct, fifth level. We don't go one by one. So if you take fifth level under a bona fide teacher, then you can drive nicely because you have a nice teacher who has driven at fifth level, so he can help you drive nicely, safely, reach to your destination, which is Krishna, Supreme Personality of Godhead. Because Krishna says that everybody is following my path, but people are confused where to go. But if you go under his direct deity, spiritual master who is in disciplic succession, under his like Arjun, then our life is easy. Okay. So we'll end here. Any questions, comments? Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Here he is written, it is saying that if you, however you imagine Krishna, he reciprocates accordingly. So, and then, but what is the actual way? You have to, I did not get that. We have
You need to
imagine-
learn. You have to
We have
find,
to learn.
it's like this. Suppose if you have a kid, okay? You have 4 kids, suppose. So every kid will desire differently what they desire from parent. Some kid may want money from you. Some kid may just want love from you. Some kid may just want money and your power, like your influence. They don't want you. They just want, something. Some kid may just want your property. Like they don't want even your care. They don't want your anything, just want their money. So every kid is requires differently. So the parents, what they do, they try to fulfill the desires of every kid. But which kid would you will love the most? The one who wants you, not like everything else besides you. They want your power, they want your money, they want your house, but they don't want you. But you will like that kid which want you first and then everything else. If they get it, they are fine. Otherwise, even if they don't get it, they are happy because they got you. Same way, these different level people desire, Krishna will give them because he is the supreme father. He'll give. But he's very happy when he say, "Oh, Krishna, I want to come to you. I want to live with you. I want to spend time with you." And he's very happy. Okay, then you get a special mercy. So that's the only difference. And that's a big difference. You can imagine now if you're a parent, how blissful a kid would be who wants parents and parents want the kid. Relationship. And ultimately, if you see, among the 4 kids, ultimately every kid is looking for a loving love and relationship happiness. But they don't know. They are looking for love everywhere except their parents. But ultimately they're looking for love and happiness. But what if you get love and happiness just by living together as a family and spending time? Ultimately, even if you go out in the bar or pub, or you're looking for a relationship and a loving exchange, chatting, gossiping, eating together, sleeping together, right? But in perverted way, in the lusty way, in a more nasty way, you can get same thing in nice way. But people don't know, therefore that's why Krishna can avoid everything. But just since they don't know, they take different path. Okay, I can get this way, I can get that way, I can get this way. But then when they're baffled, they come back to the parents. Okay, now I ruined my life, you tell me what to do. And they listen. So that's our situation. That when we get frustrated and go to God, okay, God, tell me what to do. Then still Krishna is loving. He is not like revengeful. Even parents are loving. Even if you do worse to the parent, they will still love. Okay, you come back to me, I'll take care. Don't worry. You did what did, I forget everything. Let's start again. Right? That's the real parent. Is that helpful, Mataji?
Thank you. Thank you, Prabhuji.
Thank you, Mataji. Okay, anybody else have any comments, questions?
So,
Okay. Yes.
excuse me. So here in this shloka, they've written, if you imagine Krishna as your son, he will reciprocate as your son. As a lover, as a lover. Okay, so then if somebody is imagining like this, then he will not get liberalization. He'll have to take rebirth again. That is what it means.
No. So Krishna has a house. Krishna has a planet. This is not his planet. This is just he visits here. He's just visiting in this world. He doesn't live here. So if you want to live with Krishna as a son or a family member, any relation in family or friendship, you have to go back to him. He comes here to demonstrate. Right? I am a person. He just shows us, okay. Otherwise, we start feeling, oh, there is no God. But he comes and shows, oh, I'm here. You come to me. He's just demonstrating for us so that we desire to go to him. Otherwise, we will not even desire because we don't even know that you are here. Desire is start with the information that there is something like that, right?
Okay.
So that's why we have to know Krishna in order to desire to go to Krishna to live in a relationship. And since he is unlimited, now somebody can question, oh, there are billions and trillions of living entities. How can Krishna have a relationship with everyone? We cannot even maintain one relationship or 5 relationships. We fail. We try to maintain husband-wife relationship, we neglect kid. We try to build relationship with kids, we neglect our in-laws. Very hard to maintain relationship. How can Krishna do that? With millions of people? Oh, he is unlimited. That's why he's God and we are small. We are his condition. Dog. You can say God and dog. That's a hard thing. So unless we have faith, it's very hard to understand. It's called Achinta Veda Vedya Tattva. Last time we understood. Simultaneously one and different. He demonstrated I can live with 16,000 wives, 16,100 wives at the same time. He demonstrated in Dwarka. 16,000 palaces. And each wife has 10 kids. And each of those kids, Krishna's kid got married, they had 10 kids. So the Krishna's family in Dwarka was almost 1 crore family member. And he individually built a relationship with everyone because he's God. It's not mythology. It's all documented in Mahabharata and Dwarka. So that's the God. Very hard to understand. But if we have faith and we try to read Bhagavatam, now I'll give you this last point. Narendra Modi. Okay. The relation is not by physical association, it is by connection between the feelings. Like in your own family, you have so many relationships, but with everyone you're not physically connected. Physical connection is doesn't. Sometimes people live in the same room, but there is no relationship, right? But sometimes people live millions of miles apart, but there is a relationship. How? So it is not a matter of physical association. It is a matter of connection. Like Narendra Modi, he's a prime minister, and almost everyone who supports Bharatiya Janata Party, almost 60-70% in India, they feel that he is their prime minister, even if he never met them. They will fight for him. They will die for him. Even he did never meet him, never spoken with him. Why? Because there is a connection. Why? Because they know about Modi. They read about Modi, listen about Modi. They are just absorbed in about Modi. Trump, Biden. How these political leaders, and everybody feels, oh, Modi is talking to me, Man Ki Baat. He just speak, oh, he's talking to me. So same way we read these literatures, we connect to Krishna. Oh, Krishna is talking with me. I know what he's saying. It is for me. This is for me. Just like in political leaders, those things people can consider real. Why? Because they believe in media. They believe in videos. Actually, we have never met Modi personally, but we believe because the media shows us. What if the Modi is not there? It's just some kind of thing, some video. What if the videos are false? But the video, everything is false. What you can do? What is with the AI? You can create personalities, and you can just continue ruling the country. It's gonna be political threat. That you can build the whole person's character with artificial intelligence. And person is speaking to you, talking to you, just a computer. But because people have faith, and sometimes Modi appears in rally and 15th January, 15th August, 26th January, and he shows, oh, they got a glimpse. Here is the Modi. Oh, yeah, he's a person. I know him. I've seen a video, How many billions of people, they never met him, right? Likewise. It's a long discussion. We'll continue discussing, but that's why it's interesting to understand Bhagavad Gita very deeply, because then you can start relating Krishna. And you can relate Krishna in this very personal philosophy. It's not like utopian, but if we absorb it and meditate on it, think about it with the faith, we get it. All right. So everyone is ready. I can take leave. Okay. Thank you so much for joining. We'll end here. All goes to Srila Prabhupada, Bhagavad Gita ki jai. Vancha kalptarubhasya kripa sindhubhyo cha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavabhyo. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya. Ashwadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna,
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare.
Thank you so much for joining.